Yuki wants to first pick for himself, but you know, I still feel like Lee Sin might be the grab here. We'll have to see what they go with.
Yeah, and they're sitting on that last ban here. So they don't want the Lucian to come through for Chrisland. He plays a very good Twitch.
Yeah, that's the other one. We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. And he's one of those players, like you were talking, you have to be able to play Twitch or it's a liability. And there they go. They thought they would probably first pick it with the Lucian ban coming out. Because you don't ban Lucian unless you're going to play something that is like, I need to have a pretty good lane for myself. So this is what's left. They have Kassadin still on the board, which is still very good right now.
Absolutely.
Ziggs, you know, does decently against it, but this is the 0.8 shield Kassadin. So Ziggs is not as great as he is on live servers versus Kassadin. But, man, there's really Graves left. Misfortune could also be picked up.
Yeah.
We saw Misfortune earlier today in the OGN. Yeah. Saw how good that was.
I mean, to be fair, like
Kate's still around.
Yeah, like all the AD carries are honestly playable,
but
they have their preferences. I don't know, like Lucian, Twitch are kind of the big ones.
They got rid of the first pick worthy ones, is what's going on here.
Generally,
which shows how AD-centric this matchup is between the two teams.
True.
You know, they don't want Chrisland going off, but at the same time, Yuki has carried their games in the past.
Yeah. So. Well, going to be the Pisk. The first pick, there we go. I got first and pick together and I said Pisk. The Pisk. The first pick.
I didn't hear the K.
Oh,
so.
No, that's fine. First pick, Kassadin does go through for Ocelot. He's going to do his best to carry that game as he scales up. The Botlane are looking to lock in their top end jungle right now. Just say, yep, Kha'Zix and Lee Sin, no. I mean, Chrisland's Caitlyn's very, very good. Lee Sin I still think is worth locking into this one.
Yeah. They'll take it away from Morden, and they'll also give Cabo his most played top lane.
Yeah.
So, but it could be a flex pick, so they aren't showing all of their cards just yet.
True.
Because, you know, Taiki, he can play that.
The thing is, he's not even on his, like, highly played in solo queue. And like, Lee Sin's a champion where it's like, if you play it a lot.
Yeah,
generally speaking.
That's true. You're a Lee Sin main, or you just don't play Lee Sin at all.
Generally, like, that's my general read on it, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with this one. But Lee Sin, most likely for Kaiba Shard here, going to blind pick that top lane with no top lane bans at all except for Lulu to keep in mind. So we'll have to see what Gamers2's choices are. Only the Thresh ban has come through. Say, well, Morgana's on the table, all this other stuff's on the table, but let's find an engaged support as well as Graves. It's interesting if they do go for Graves. It's a big range disparity, 525 versus 650. They're going to play around that with Leona, who's also melee.
Yeah, Leona will be able to close the distance still.
Yeah.
Karma Morgana up in terms of supports here that they can pick up for heavy bot lane. But here's another thing, is that Zyra is actually in Haiva's champion pool. He loves that champion. It's his third most played. He also played it in the round of 20, going 0-0-7 with Chrisland on Twitch. I would not be surprised to see that here. He's hovering over it right now.
Yeah.
Because that's his baby right there. He's like, Zyra's still good. She's still viable. And up against somebody like Leona, I would not be surprised to see that at all.
We'll see. They're going to hover over a lot of different picks right now. At this point, Chrisland just clicking whatever he wants. Of course, he's already got the AD carry locked in for himself. That's going to be Caitlyn. At least the second most played here for Taiki. So figure, hey, if you've lost the Evelyn, just go for number 2, grab the Elise. Zyra does get picked up there, so it's the longest. It's basically the longest range bot lane versus the shortest range bot lane, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Annie's just not in there. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah. So obviously Annie's one. I think Zillion's also 600, but it's still an extremely long range lane versus extremely short range one.
I did not know that Zillion is 600.
Yep.
He chucks those bombs really far.
Yeah. The little gears.
Dynamite. Gears? They're gears.
I think they're gears.
Okay. I always thought they were like sticks of dynamite. I'm like, oh, he's a bomber. But gears makes more sense.
Yeah. He's already got time bombs.
Yeah, makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
That just shows you how much I pay attention to Zillion. Aside from his chrono shift dance.
That's awesome.
This is awesome. I love that video.
Well, it's going to be the rest of the picks, though, coming through. Gamers2 looking at Irelia here for the top lane. So the second Irelia we're going to see today will be fighting up against Lee Sin. That'll be a fun matchup.
Very aggressive. Very in-your-face matchup between those two.
True.
That's going to be one of the...
for Morden.
Yeah. Okay. So Feral Flare is at that point in this patch where it hasn't been...
Heavily nerfed.
Yeah, heavily nerfed. It's at that point where you need the 30 stacks to create it, and the base stats of it aren't down. And it still scales up the heal. Every time you get a stack on it, which was really big for the drain tanking. But now, Nocturne, he's very versatile. You can go ahead and build the Feral Flare on him. You can go ahead and actually snowball the lanes more and get the Lizard Elder. It's perfectly fine. You can do whatever you want. And Starry. He'd be a man after my own heart if he locks in the talent.
Man, there's a good chance.
But it is a good.
You're facing Kassadin.
It's a good pick against Kassadin, but there are better picks out there or something.
Potentially. I mean, you never really know until you try. I never want to say a better pick because there's always undiscovered stuff.
You don't really want to go that AD heavy too against this team because they would be pure AD at that point.
Yeah, aside from Elise. I mean, well, Zyra can kind of scale up.
Elise,
Zyra's like enough magic damage that I'd be okay with it.
There's just so much CC there. Once Elise gets max cooldown reduction, which most people go for now, they'll get something like the Ionian Boots of Lucidity and then an Aegis of Legion. They have a 2-second stun on a 6-second cooldown. And people have been maxing the E second after Q.
Yeah, it's a great build. It is going to be Kayle, though, for the mid lane. Astari going to play Kayle up against Kassadin this one. So the lineups are through. Gamers2, Irelia, Nocturne, Kassadin, Graves, and Leona. Fairly tanky lineup, and again, a very aggressive lineup.
It looks like an all-in, which makes it so that the Zyra is the perfect pick as a support here for the disengage. You have so much zone control, and if you get a root onto the Kassadin, her escape is nulled. If the Leona goes in and you root her, you can root all of them at the same time, too, if you're just that good.
Yeah, sure.
Like, there's a lot of contingencies here that could happen, but I love the pickup of Zyra.
One thing I'm going to be concerned about, though, and I agree, I actually personally love Zyra. I think she's a great champion. I think back to Season 3 Worlds, where Zyra was super popular, and all everyone was playing was like Ahri and Zed. And man, do those champions love killing Zyra over and over.
Yeah,
super mobile, high burst. They're going to get away from her. They don't care about getting rooted because they're going to cast spells on you anyway. And it's like, you've got a Kassadin and a Nocturne. And even a Irelia to a certain extent, right? Like, you've got a lot of ways to just, like, burst that champion and peace out. And I wonder how much that Zyra does get caught, because I feel like she's good against like team fight disengage, bad against assassin disengage.
Yeah, but the silence no longer on Kassadin, so it gives her a little bit of a leeway there.
Yeah,
even if she dies, she'll probably get at least a CC.
She'll get her combo off.
Yeah,
yeah. Kassadin has to get in melee range to combo you as well now. Q and E's base damage is much lower.
His W
is crazy, to be fair. At least he has to be melee though.
The Iceborne Gauntlet, we did increase his range on his melee by a tiny bit.
Yeah, it's
made
150.
It feel a little bit better. But I'm excited to see how that shapes up. Going for the Crystalline Flask, keep himself all safe.
Yeah. Going for the defensive item build to start, keeps the sustain going. It is going to be Ignite for the mid laners here, so no like TP Kassadin to get back into lane sooner. Something to watch out for. Both support starting with their gold generation. I'm going to see where their builds end up taking them with this one. Early ward for Gamers2, going to watch their own blue buff. Heavy Botlane going to make their way towards that side of the map.
And they're just forming up here. They're looking to see if an invade will come out. You know, red side last game, Chantal Mactwao had a lot of luck in that bush up top.
They did.
Trying to replicate it here for Heavy Botlane.
Well, see what they can do with this one. Right now, the Gamers2 on the wrong side of the map for that one. So waiting in that brush won't do much, aside from attune you with nature. And if you don't have allergies, that would suck.
Absolutely suck. Be allergic to grass.
Yeah. You couldn't play Garen.
No, you could not play Garen. You'd come out of the bush all
all
itchy.
Yeah. Watery eyes.
You'd be really red too.
Yep. See what we get with this one. Gamers2, though, going to look for a late invade on the bottom side of the map, which Heavy Botlane will not spot there. So the defensive level 1. There we go. Heavy Botlane making their way around a little bit more.
And they have to invade. Because if you don't invade, you're going to lose a buff. And with the 90-second trinkets, or 2-minute trinkets, sorry, they're 2-minute trinkets. 120-second trinkets.
That is indeed the case. Well, Heavy Botlane going for the late invade down towards their opponent's blue up. They will get spotted by a ward on their way over.
There's a real ward there. And now they have all the information they need. But at this point, if you are Heavy Botlane, you can assume that your blue is gone.
Yep, so there's a smite there from the Nocturne. Both teams fully clear the blue buffs, and we're going to have the 2-man jungle squads.
This is very important because the top lane still has those extra resistances on it. The bottom lane does not in this patch. So Gamers2 is actually going to push a little faster, and they saw this coming because of the ward. So now Morden and J-Bob will both get level 2 at the same time, and they'll be able to push this bottom lane extremely quick.
All right, let's see how the push goes. These guys are going to hit level 2. All the above looks like Cabochard and Taiki, my apologies, are going to get there at about the same time. Vulture Spiderling does reach the minions. And here comes the 4v0 push.
Push them a little quick there. No cannon minion in that wave just yet. By the time it gets completely just filtered out, they will have that cannon minion ready to go. Look at that. They're actually a little bit faster here with the Spiderlings and the Skittering Frenzy, and the fact that Lee Sin has the attack speed increase. Because the jungler and top laner, Aurelia doesn't do anything extra to turrets. It's really just relying on the Nocturne's passive attack speed from his Shroud.
Well, it's going to be that first turret going down. Looks like they're going to actually donate the experience to Yuki. Problem is this minion wave is going to slow push unless he resets the wave somewhere. It's going to be something to be concerned about for the Gamers2 lineup in this one. They're going to send their trio back to defend the Tier 2 turret. And there's the recall for the Graves as well, but this might allow a lane freeze for Cabochard on Lee Sin.
Yeah, actually, his wave is actually going to push up a little bit because of how many are in it. We'll have to see how he plays it. Yeah, I think the freeze situation is actually better for JWoww right now.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, he just froze it.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll keep track of that in the near future. Right now, Taiki and Morden getting their way back into their own jungles. Looks like red buff going to be grabbed for Elise. Morden going to take a second and grab the Wraith before going to his own red. And here we go. The junglers doing their standard camps this one. And we'll see how the lanes progress. Right now, actually, it's interesting because Grizzland has come down to join Cabochard on the bottom side of the map.
They can't give up the dragon pressure at this point. It's the prime objective. JWoww still has his teleport available. He can be up in that top lane. Look at that. It's going to start pushing because the cannon minion wave came up. And now he can't help it. He doesn't want it to do it, but it's going to do it anyway.
Well, we'll see at what point the teams rejoin right there, because a big wave is something that allows a team to push very heavily.
Also allows you to dive if your jungler is around.
Absolutely it does.
And once you get that kill, you deny so much experience from somebody. And look at that, 3 men strong in the mid lane.
Okay. So heavy bot lane doesn't do anything with the bottom lane. That thing got stacked up, and it's just Grizzland pushed it in, then pieced out for the recall. There's a big wave up top lane for JWoww, but it looks like no one's going to come and try to help that one push out either.
So because heavy bot lane typically wins their games against Gamers2 10 minutes quicker, they're going to try to accelerate the pace of the game. Dude's going to get caught by Grasping Root.
Some decent damage, not a half HP, but not going to do much more than deal some damage right there. Buckshot does not quite land, but it's going to be standard lanes right here. So the team's going to reset. Nocturne actually makes his way towards the top lane right here, at least doing the same. Looks like we're going to have a bit of action on this side of the map. And I believe Morden dodged all the wards, as did Taiki. Ooh, nope. New one came down.
New one came down. They know that he's there. They also see that he doesn't have as many combat stats as Morden does.
Ever so slightly, yeah.
It's just barely. But at this early on, still makes a big difference. You've basically multiplied your armor by 25%.
What's attack speed now?
Oh, yeah. Your attack speed,
boost
which is
damage.
Amazing.
Yeah, for Nocturne, it's awesome. All right, Cabochard does not know about this.
There's a shadow behind him. Don't look behind you. It's right behind me. Yes, it is.
All right, there we go. Stun comes in. The jump back to the minis. He flashes, gets away from the Fear Tether. But as he summoned a spell down, so successful gank.
Yep, as long as you get a flash, it's a successful gank. Any summoner spell that you get from that person makes so they don't have it in lane, and look at that. Pressure is now on. He's going to be able to buy whatever he wants.
Yeah, so that flash did cost 2 jungle camps, though. Taiki cleared away the golems and the wraiths, so if the flash doesn't mean anything, it's just golden experience that actually went heavy bot lane's way. We'll see if it means much. Right now, Gamers2 hold on to a 200 gold lead just from their laning phase so far. We'll see if it means much more as time goes on. Slot easily grabbing some stuff. Taiki going to go buy a ward again. Looks like the ward coverage very good for Gamers2. They've stopped every gank attempt.
Yeah, keeping it up, keeping their awareness up. They really want this. They really do. 3 of their members, former LCS. They're playing like it right now. They're playing like they want to be back in there. Yeah, but the thing is they're playing safe.
They are. Playing a bit more of a defensive game. I mean, they do have a Cassidy who's going to scale very well, though the problem is Kale does too.
But the thing is, Cassidy's early game is actually a lot better than it used to be. He stays in lane a lot more. His staying power is immense. Level 6 here.
Yeah, big damage from JWoww.
One more. Ooh.
Did not have Q back up from cooldown, so he couldn't chase any farther. Flash E wouldn't have been worth it either. But big damage comes through. JWoww winning that matchup.
Yeah, the fact that there's no flash as well means that he wins that pretty much hands down. And then the level 6 advantage Giving him a little bit, but they're going 4 men strong in the mid here. On to Ocelot.
Ooh.
He can't defend this turret by himself as Cassidy.
I like this move. This is very, very smart by Heavy bot lane, making their way back quickly to the mid lane with this one. This will almost be their turret. There are some Spiderlings here as well, and looks like they will be staying. At the very least, look at it on the next wave. Haiva takes turret aggro. Dude here to defend. Actually, Gamers2 stopped the push with about 300 health left in the turret.
Yes, Ocelot needed help there. They immediately bring it up. Yuki got a little bit of free farm for himself in the meantime. Oh, going in for it.
Yeah, so there's some damage right there. You can see the plant does break through the shield eventually. Ocelot is maxing Q, by the way, on Kassadin. I think every single ability has a case for being maxed first or last for Kassadin, as people start to figure out the builds. But maxing Q for the shield primarily.
Yeah, if you were against somebody who's AD, you probably wouldn't max the Q.
No. I think melee versus melee matchups, you'd actually max W. The damage is higher per point. And you just spam at people.
And E if you want to wave clear against somebody.
It's not even a high damage spell. Like, the wave clear's not even good.
On the E?
Yeah, it's the same damage as Q. It's like 180 at max rank. So you wouldn't really wave clear with it. Because you can't get 2 off per wave, because it's gated
right.
number of spells cast.
The base damage on it.
Yeah, base damage is super low on E.
Yeah. Went down.
But it's a big giant AoE slow, and as far as like the base cooldown is lower than Q's. If you're in team fights, it'll out damage Q. For what it's worth.
The fact that your W is free, you can just get more spells for your Force Pulse yourself.
Yeah.
And now Heavy Botlane making a move for the Dragon. It's completely open for them right now. This will be the first advantage of the game for them by about 500 gold.
All right, well, there we go. Heavy bot lane making it work. They're bot lane heavy with minions right now, and the whole team's going to show up to push alongside them. Cabochard leading the charge here, level 4, maxing E on Lee Sin, by the way. We do see different builds a lot of the time. Red buff, actually, being grabbed by Morden, but he's not defending. He's just going to be killing away his jungle, and Gamers2 not joining the party in time. Turret goes down.
So making that Dragon, taking the inside route and forcing Gamers2 all the way around to take the safe route, gave them a turret in response. JWoww, he has his teleport. He has a ward in the backlines to TP too, but they're not making a move for it just yet.
So they do not want to make that one happen at all. Would have been a 4 versus 4. Mid laners would have joined about the same time anyway. Ocelot still just farming 60 to 78 in minions right now. A pretty close score between the two of them. But as we expect, Astari to the early lead. We'll see at one point this Kassadin catches back up.
Yeah, it's been a 0-kill game so far, but all the outer turrets are about to be taken by Heavy bot lane here.
Ooh, bit of damage comes in. Good slow is going to land. Some decent damage there onto this actually very low HP Kayle at this point.
Yeah, Heavy bot lane look like they're trying to just get out of the laning phase. Just shut down the Kassadin, make sure Aurelia doesn't scale up, and just allow themselves to team fight as much as possible and get objectives. Because they just keep going middle. They clear bottom, go middle. Clear bottom, go middle, go where the objectives are. Once they get all the outer turrets, they're going to have to ward up the jungle and make some catches and really good rotations.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yuki forced a dash back. He's all right, though. So let's see.
Had a little cocoon in his eye. Yeah, he's fine for a second. It stuns you. Takes you back.
He's fine now. So Heavy bot lane definitely playing the more strategic game for this one. Starting this one out, Tiamat done as well for Lee Sin, and 2 attacks go in. There's the kill. The engage comes in. How's the fight going to go? Taiki in the front line. Cabochard forced to jump away as well. Kayle comes in. First blood goes down for Morden, and there comes the dive from the back line. Big kills coming through. Haiva forced away. JWoww finds another one. Looks like a 1-for-3 fight so far. Solar Flare going to get dodged away, but Astari goes down anyway. Only Chrisland alive. 4-for-1 battle.
A triple kill there for JWoww off the back of it, and now they're going to go ahead and counter this turret. Chrisland, the only one alive. He has ace in the hole, but JWoww would most likely block it if it happens. They go after the turret, it's dead, so they don't have that support, but look at that. We had the TP in the back line, and the ultimate, the intervention used, but of course there were 2 low targets, and he's able to pick up at least one of them and then wait for the other. So the resets came out, and the great solar flare there at the end. You can see how low Leona was off on the side there. Dude, basically a Piltover Peacemaker would have killed him.
Yeah.
But he risks it. He says, I gotta throw it down, I gotta be a support. And it comes up big. Gives him the slow they need.
Yeah, and I feel like he hit level 6 during that fight. Because he's just level 6 now, and it's like he would have probably cast that sooner, so goes in, gets the... Even just a slow was enough, of course, to pick off Kayle, and it was a big battle. 1,000 gold lead now for Gamers2. The mini wave's not going to be claimed on both sides, but right now this is a team that's looking great. They picked up, you know, the Aurelia, who has a, by the way, 12.5-minute Trinity Force. That is ludicrously fast.
Yeah, all 3 kills funneled onto him. There were 4 kills. He didn't get 1 assist, but meh.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I mean, he has his cake. Yep. Maybe he'll eat it too later.
He might.
See, with the Trinity Force, definitely going to make him eat that. It's a lot of damage there very early on for him. We saw an Aurelia in the last game too. Took a very long while for him to get his Trinity Force and to get going.
Yeah. Still won.
Yeah, still won. Aurelia has a very high priority in European players that play top lane. And it's not so much an NA thing.
Or Korea or China.
Or Korea, that's very true. EU just has this affinity for Aurelia. And she's actually a very good top laner. The only time I ever see it really played in Korea is as a counter pick to Rise. Because it does well with the passive.
Yeah, I can see
Brute
that.
Prison. It just has such a low duration on it anyway. The extra tenacity just puts it over the top.
I was talking to one of the LCS players, actually, and they said that Europe invents the picks, Korea refines them, and then North America copies them.
Just like Morgana support.
Yeah. Like, I saw it first with Rokat.
And it happened again at All-Stars with Zillion support.
It's true. Yeah, J-Re was the first one to do it, I think. Yeah. Europe invents the picks.
Well, there's somebody who did support Zillion probably before that.
When Zillion first came out, someone played support Zillion. Yeah. But we're talking, you know, pro play. It's gonna be like 20 years, like, I played support Zillion first. Like, yes, you did, to be fair. We just didn't cast it.
I played laning Evelyn. When that becomes a thing.
That was like the thing at the end of Season 2. Or, yeah, when, right after TPA won All-Stars, IPL5 was a bunch of mid-Evelyn players. People realized that it was, like, incredibly powerful.
Roam.
Yeah, it's super good.
You never know where he is.
You had enough mana to wave clear all the time, because you'd get your mana back between waves. It was super good. So, Ocelot. Now, notice actually that he's, by the way, almost never using Riftwalk. He's keeping it available from cooldown, because the base cooldown's like 7 at rank 1. And so it takes you don't want to stack it up, 1, because the mana cost is really high, and 2, the base cooldown's pretty high. So he's actually waiting around pretty heavily and leaving it available if he does need to disengage.
I want to see if he goes for an Iceborne Gauntlet, because it would give him the armor that he needs to deal with everybody on the team. Because Kayle does some physical damage. A lot of her attack speed transitions into that. And now, if he does, it's just awesome. His W on top of that, the auto attack reset, the fact that it gives you a whole bunch of mana back, and it's a percentage of your max. So the more you have, the more it gives you back.
Absolutely. See what else he grabs with this one. Ocelot just stacking his row for now. Heavy bot lane. Looks like they want to start taking control of the map again. They are up and here in time for the Dragon. JWoww does not have teleport, but Cabochard does. That means that JWoww is going to walk his way down there by himself. It will give time for Lee Sin to split push. Heavy bot lane could outplay this and get some free turret pressure.
But I think Gamers2 recognizes that they're going to try to apply pressure and actually start it up and take it, pose the threat, so it won't be a free turret. They'll at least have to blow TP, or just not, or just give up the Dragon.
Yep.
Those are the 2 options.
Completely disengaged and said, you know what? The last team fight went better for Gamers2, so they just trade. It's actually a pretty smart choice. I like this. Cabochard just grabbing a turret as payment for Dragon.
At the same time, it means they have to go deeper for more objectives. The fact that Gamers2 gave up all of these early objectives, but they're still in the lead in terms of gold, is huge. Absolutely. That if Heavy Bot Lane wants to come back, they have to wait for Gamers2 to come to them.
Well, Gamers2 happy to wait at least for now. It looks like the first big item done for Cabochard adds a Giant's Belt as well, but has the Hydra. So big lifesteal available here for Lee Sin. Red buff grabbed by Taiki. Just chilling.
A little amendment. They have to wait for Gamers2 to come to them or ward up the jungle precisely.
Yeah. And find those.
Figure out what they want to do. So heavy bot lane shot calling is going to be called into action here. And so far, it's stood the test. Yeah, they did the split. They did it really well. And now we're going to see how that holds up. Now, the top laners here, I want to see how JWoww with the 3 kills does versus Cabochard.
Well, it's Triforce versus Giant's Belt Hydra. There's a small level lead for JWoww, but he burns the ulti just to clear the wave, so he's going to peace out and join his team somewhere. They're just leaving Ocelot to split push, though. Like, this is a dedicated split push Kassadin, who, by the way, even if Kassadin couldn't win the 1v1s in this early game, I feel like he wouldn't easily, not against any of the major defenders. He can't really be caught.
Yeah.
So Gamers2 are buying a lot of time for this Kassadin to scale up. Yuki's getting... He's basically the wave clear threat in mid lane. Like, whatever the push ends up
he goes in.
Ooh, goes in half health onto his star. He takes a Q, walks away. That was nice.
Look at how little he blew for that, too. In terms of his mana, it's immediately back. Almost no resources consumed there. Goes ahead and uses some crystalline flask charges, and now he's fine. He'll go straight for the turret, and all 4 of them are here for it. Top lane, JWoww
Great
there.
play. Root comes in, but dodge away by Ocelot. He's going to be safe. There we go. JWoww forces a flash to the wall, dodges a cocoon, but still more damage comes through. Is it going to be enough? The kick is available. Big damage. This will be a dead JWoww. Nicely picked up.
And so now the pressure is on that bottom. It is a 3v4 in that bottom lane, but it's a 2 versus turret. They give it to the turret most of the time. Actually, it's a 3v3 because they pulled Nocturne back, so their engage is gone aside from the solar flare to defend this turret.
Well, Nocturne has pretty decent wave clear, so he's going to be pretty safe in this one. Gets rid of the minions, so it's basically a kill for a blue buff and some turret pressure there from Gamers2. Now, I did like the fact that Gamers2 is using Graves as the anti-push. Blue buff's still actually backed by heavy bot lane, but it does mean that blue buffs actually went to the wrong people in certain cases. There comes the dive TP in from Irelia towards the top side. Pick on Morden. Big damage comes through. Nice repel. Dodges the damage from Irelia, but Taiki just gets chased down. Ocelot get the kill credit. 5-2.
Escaped from 2 members to go into the rest of the majority of the team. Didn't have the vision to cover himself there. Saw that Diode was coming up with Yuki a little too late. The repel call was already entered. For JWoww, the great teleport into the back line there. He showed up the last place you expect him. You're like, wait, we just killed you.
Yep.
And now you're in front of us.
Other side of the map. Well played on this one. Of course, that is a 5-minute teleport cooldown, but worth it, of course. So now, can heavy bot lane play around that TP? They know it's been burned. They know they've got another 4.5 minutes. Can they do anything with that, though, is the real test for these guys. Ocelot back to the bottom lane, back in the split push. He's going to get what farm he can. And this is the playstyle. I mean, Gamers2, they are slow playing this game.
Yeah, he's also got double buffs. It's extremely hard to deal with a Kassadin. He just has Rod of Ages. Sitting on a lot of gold right now, actually. So when he backs, he'll be able to pick up some great goodies for himself and be even more powerful. Like right now, he's a really big threat, but now it's just really disheartening when you see somebody who's already causing at least 2 people to deal with him, and you're like, he hasn't purchased in a while. He hasn't added more to his arsenal. He's just ready to cash in. And that's an aggressive move there by Ocelot.
Wow, he's pretty confident in his team's ability to follow up with this one. Gets some damage down. Cabochard forced to kick back JWoww. And now actually, this is going to be Gamers2 actually getting us surrounded this one. There's really nowhere for Lee Sin to go unless he can ward hop away safely. Ocelot going to get some damage through. Actually, doesn't really land the ulti in that one. Cabochard gets away.
Yeah, he used his flash there to get out. He has his teleport available. There's not much he can do. He's up in the fight. Doesn't want to go ahead and split push his side lane. And at the same time, now it's a 5-on-5 in the mid lane. But there's definitely an advantage here for Gamers2.
Yeah. They're the team in the lead.
But the thing is you don't want to tower dive a Zyra.
No.
That's where the disengage
This team can't tower dive. There's no tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Nocturne built squishy. Irelia's built squishy. She's actually going for the Zephyr right now.
Feral Flare already completed.
Yep.
The 30-stack Feral Flare. Bladed Rune King on top of it. And Taki, oh!
Ooh, Juke's back, but still gets slowed down. Big damage comes through. Kill picked up there for JWoww. 4-1, 20 minutes in the game.
Yeah, and 1-3 here for Taiki.
Yeah.
Also down in levels. And now the Dragon up in 30 seconds for Gamers2. Picking up that kill for themselves allows them to apply the pressure and get the positioning if they wanted it, but instead they're going to back, get all the combat stats, then go test the Dragon.
That's going to be the case. 15 seconds till that comes back up. Now the last Dragon was uncontested by Gamers2. Or they got that one without anyone really trying to stop them. So the timer is going to be more exact for the blue team here. There's a chance Heavy Botlane gives that one up just simply by not knowing exactly when it comes up. We'll see.
Rod of Ages already stacking up on Ocelot, gets himself the Seeker's Arm Guard. Was sitting on Home Guard already this early on in the game, so he's ready to move around the map. He's ready to get himself into position.
Yeah.
And that helps him get to the Dragon just right in time, and they've basically conceded. Heavy bot lane, they want nothing to do with this Dragon, but they're going to have to answer for it, because now it's gold for Gamers2.
Exactly. Gamers2 have been just acquiring advantages consistently this game.
You got to smack the Baron a couple times, you know. Keep your sanity.
Make sure he's awake.
Yep.
It's like a newborn baby. Make sure it cries.
But don't smack it, though.
Well, I mean, no. No, sorry.
Freak, stop
sorry.
smacking
Wow,
babies.
wow. That's not where I was going with that one. I apologize very sincerely for this one. Onslaught, though, he's just still doing the split push. Okay, let him go.
Hi.
Let's him off with a warning. Yeah, I got you.
And now we see JWoww. He's just in the top lane. He's going to continue to... This lane is actually frozen in his favor if he leaves it like this. It'll continue to push towards him. And the fact that there's a cannon minion in it that hasn't taken any damage. Yeah.
The fact that he's freezing in general really shows you how slow G2 wants to play this. Because they're the team that's winning. They could push, go for turrets.
This lane's frozen too.
We're just going to freeze lanes. We're going to play another 10 minutes and just let it go.
Oh, nope. Ocelot's not going to have any of that. He's going to give that thing a little love tap.
Yeah. Cabashard, unfortunately, like he's in XP range, but he knows he can't really fight Ocelot. That should have been a successful sneak in. Kale's moving his way down. Okay, goes for a bit of damage. Does fight Ocelot. Got a minion wave lead, so yeah.
Wants to force him to clear the wave instead of freezing it. If only a little. Because look at JWoww. JWoww's frozen that wave and used that cannon minion to make it push all the way back into him. And now he's like, all right, I have to show up to these fights now. I got to clear it. Got it back.
Gamers2 got exactly what they wanted. Said, okay, we have enough gold. We're going to do the recalls. There will be a wave right down by the tier 2 turret in the bottom lane, but heavy bot lane not moving in time to stop that. It seems like their shot calls have stopped. Heavy bot lane are just like clearing what minions are there, but there's so many like waves that are randomly frozen. They're not getting a whole lot of gold anymore, and just things have stalled out for these guys.
And Ocelot is going to pick himself up a blue, and you're right. I said the shot calling is going to be called in question here for heavy bot lane. It was good at the start of the game, but it's really trickled off after they gave up those couple of kills in mid, where the call was to finish off the turret, and then the counter engage came in from Duke. Or I guess the engage there.
Yeah.
So they were looking
they just dove right as the turret died. Well, the split has switched places. Ocelot's now gone to the top lane, which is smart because Baron's the top side of the map, so put your teleport on the bottom side. Try to pull attention with JWoww there. Ocelot waiting on top of the pink ward. Does see it's going to be the Lee Sin to fight against him, who has not built any MR yet. So I wonder how Ocelot would do in this kind of a battle. Every time I said that like they can't fight someone, it's always gone the other way. I was like, Ocelot can't beat any split pushers, then like Chunks killed a half. And I'm like, Cabashard can't really fight Ocelot, then goes in when the minion wave dies. I'm like, okay, well, minion waves are kind of dictating the trades, but in isolated 1v1s, I wouldn't have been wrong.
JWoww can always show up to these with the teleport.
Exactly.
So you're not really 1v1ing anybody.
Nope.
I don't know if they abide by that code. Unless you're winning, then they're just like, yeah, it's fine.
And
I'm not going to show up.
I guess keep in mind as well that once the lanes break down, rank 2 Nocturne ulti plus teleport is really easy to swing a fight with. So heavy bot lane to be very afraid of, like, anytime they engage, 2 guys could join in about 4 seconds.
Yeah, and we see here the extra armor from Ocelot. He knows where he wants to be. He wants to be against this Lee Sin. Wants to be split push, and we see that Morden is off on the side here. He's ready to go. There's nobody around Cabashard if he pushes up at all.
Oh, ping spot the Leona. That's fine. Not too important for these guys. Morden waits around for it. As you can see, Cabashard did not want any part of that one at all. Again, recognizes the amount of MAA that's available. Knows people could slink into the brushes. And it's really just heavy bot lane grabbing the junk lanes. Whatever stuff pushes in and it's safe, they can grab it. But otherwise, no real moves are being made. There's the dive in. Good damage comes through. Flash is going to get him out of the fear tether. Great kick back as well. Morden uses the Blade of the Rune King, though. Cabashard's got no way to disengage anymore, and he's going to go down.
Just so much damage here from Morden. The fact that he completed his Blade of the Rune King on top of the Feral Flare, he is extremely potent. He has all of this attack speed. And if he gets on this turret, it's going to die. And here's Dude with the engage.
4v5, the dive comes in. Good ulti keeps the Zyra alive. But here comes J1 in the back line, picks up one, now goes for Krislin. Big damage comes through the dive forward. 2 more kills for Gamers2. Gonna get away as they wait for the next minion wave.
So they had the power, they recognized that they had it, and they immediately abuse it. They put that numbers advantage to use, and the fact that they were able to get rid of the Zyra and just cause themselves to have this advantage was really big. That turret, they gave it a false sense of security to heavy bot lane.
Yeah.
And Gamers2 abused that.
Yeah, they're playing absolutely amazingly in general. Like, it's weird. Like, this is interesting because it got to be so frustrating to play against because they play it so slowly. The beginning of the game, okay, just let cast it into farm. The lanes break down. Okay, we'll cast split pushes bottom, Aurelia split pushes top. we have Graves just hold on to lanes for a while, and they're playing it slowly. They let the lanes freeze at 25 minutes in. They're like, yeah, we're going to play it this slowly. It's literally called freeze. That's how slow they're going to play it. And then out of nowhere, they're like, okay, camp top, blow them up. Guys, everyone go top lane, dive if they defend.
And you could see how much the top laner was being zoned by Ocelot there.
Yeah.
There's nothing you do. He'd run up and he'd be like, okay, I can Sonic Wave it. And then he goes for it, and they knew he was going to do it. And they immediately engage on him.
And that's the disappointing thing is he knows he can't go for that.
Yeah.
He's like, I got to play so far back, I can only Q stuff. And he's like, I really want that 19 gold.
Yeah. It's a cannon minion.
I want that 45 gold.
You can't let the cannon minion go.
It's worth 1/10 as much as your life.
Baited by the cannon minion.
That's happened to many of us.
It happens all the time.
We are all aware of getting baited by cannon
That's the
minions.
thing, though, is that you can use the cannon minions to your advantage. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
if my opponent realizes how much gold a cannon minion is,
Yeah.
I know they're going to want that, baby.
Yeah. That's
Bait
how
it.
lane. That's how everything goes. That's how
Yeah.
that's how ganks are performed.
That's why
that's how you
have to
trade
watch
lane.
it. You have to watch the HP, though. You have to
Absolutely.
Be like, he's going to go for it now, especially as a jungler and,
Yes.
and the person who's assisting the gank.
Mhm.
You're just like, all right.
When they auto the cannon, I'll shockwave.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
And that. Yes. Sorry, I keep
gonna
cutting
say-
you off because Mike
I was
excited
gonna-
to talk about this.
Yeah, I know. You're like, I know he's going to be right here on top of it. Let's do this. There's like videos out there of cannon minions baiting people. We were going to say.
Scumbag cannon minions. Yeah, so when you play League of Legends just in general, so two stories. One, this is something that people commend Faker for a lot, is he makes you fight for every single CS you go for. Anytime you last hit, he tries to attack you. And this is the other thing is, when you play League of Legends and you're laning or jungling, right, you watch the enemy minions' HP so you can last hit them. You watch your own minions' HP for when you get free damage.
Yep.
You basically buy damage with 20 gold. You're like, this minion will die, and you will get 20 gold, and I will hit you for it.
That's a
And
great way of thinking of it.
You have to, yeah, you basically pay for every CS with blood if your opponents are good.
Yeah. I really like that.
And then that even snowballs farther, because if the CS is too painful, think about it. A health potion is 150 health for 35 gold. If you're going to take more than 150 health for less than 35 gold, it wasn't worth it. Because everyone goes into lane with potions, right? Everyone buys potions, goes into lane, and they will freely use them if it allows them to go into the fight. But if you die for it, again, the replay of this fight, big kills come out. JWeb blows people up. They disengage a Gamers2's back out.
Yeah. We talked about that as we were going into the swap out there. Just the way they were able to execute that, knowing they had the numbers advantage and then immediately pushing it was huge. And now they aren't even going to back. They're going to go straight back up there.
Big pain coming through. Tier 2 turret under fire. No one in the right mind would defend this turret. It is going to go to Gamers2. So, 4-4 in turrets. Interestingly enough, Heavy Botlane actually got turret kills themselves throughout this game.
But they couldn't do anything afterwards. I was talking about how they have to ward up the jungle and push that lead, but they didn't really have a lead. They had an objective lead, which means that they would have map pressure if they had more gold and more threatening champions. The fact that they were behind meant that they had just taken like territory that Gamers2 could freeze in. And Gamers2 abused that. They recognized it, and it's really good on them that they were able to pull that off.
Absolutely. Absolutely great play by these guys. Any team that identifies the 5v4 dives, I'm always a fan of, because it means you saw it coming in advance. Like, you don't get 5v4 dives unless you saw it coming. Just in general, you don't pull 5 guys up for no reason. And so they have the foresight to see it 30 seconds in advance, and then the execution to pull it off and get kills for it. That's always a good mark for a team.
Now we see the Ionian Boots of Lucidity for Taiki. He's looking for the lockups, very standard build now for Elise. And at the same time, the items are actually pretty decent here for Heavy Botlane, but it's the 7K about to be even more gold difference here for Gamers2. And the fact that they've just stacked these on and they haven't let up. Ocelot has 100% kill participation, and he's going to have more.
Oh, Crimson forced over the wall. The engage comes in. Solar Flare does not land onto much, but Astari goes down 1-0. Taiki forced away. Zyra ulti makes him back out, but another 1-0.
And taking that advantage for themselves. They're going after the Baron here. They throw down the pink ward.
Well, Kabashard is around. Taiki will maybe look to steal this one. Does not have flash. It's a one-way trip for the Elise. Dude is on ward killing duty. Gamers2, will they go for this one? Caitlyn ulti blocked out. Will they burst in time? There's the repel. They go in for the fight anyway. Lee Sin across the wall. Smite comes through. Picked up for Gamers2 on top of 2 kills as well. Over the wall goes Ocelot. Flash slow comes in. Haiva, Cabochard both getting chased down. 1 kill picked up. Gonna make that 2 in a second. And now only Istari is alive.
So they end up getting the Baron for themselves. It's 14-2 in kills. Ocelot still 100% kill participation. He's been involved in all of them. And now they're going to get a mid turret on top of everything that they acquired for themselves in that fight. Just an immense play there.
Oh, yeah.
By Gamers2. 28 minutes in, they're like, all right, we can do Baron. We went for top. Now we can do Baron now.
And the fact that they are all ready to just dive over the top instead of going for Baron at the start of it all, said, okay, our goal is actually to bait them in, bait the repel if you can. Repel didn't really come out. They just said, okay, screw it, kill him.
And they sat there and soaked the damage from Baron, because what you typically do as a jungler, and you're like, I can see the Baron, I can gauge the DPS, the damage per second, and tap to it. How long until I repel now, go in, and smite? And then Gamers2 got it to about 2,000, and they stopped. And they were like, all right, when are you going to come in? When are you going to come in? And then he repelled, and they were like, all right, go in. And they went over, and they left the Baron at actually 2,000 HP.
Yeah.
And then Cabochard went in with Lee Sin. And at least they're like, all right, I guess we have to get it now. Our backline's dying. And they still don't come up with it there because Morden gets the smite.
Yeah, that was actually impressive. I'm actually wondering, I'd like to look back and figure out if they left no targets for repel. Because I'm not sure if repel is actually in range of Baron itself. And if the champs all jump the wall, there's nothing to fall to. And he could never have smited. I don't know. I'm just wondering if that was the case.
Pretty sure.
Because there's a way to outplay that, to like literally give no repel targets. If they repel far enough back.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to do it really quickly.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know if that was intentionally their goal, but certainly it might have happened regardless.
Yeah.
It still came down to 50-50 smite. Like, it got to the point where somebody had to smite that anyway, so...
Yeah, but Gamers2 put themselves in the situation that even if they had given up the Baron, they still would have cleaned house out.
Absolutely. Yeah, they were going to get ahead in that regardless. I think that's actually a really good point, that they would win even with the smite. So the siege now to the bottom lane, 31.5 minutes in.
And Gamers2, they don't have a good history of doing well in the Challenger series. Their previous attempts to make it past the round of 8 have been foiled almost every time.
True. And
now, Bristol made it with recent gaming to 4th place. His journey might end the round of 10.
Well, some damage might come on through in this one. And we're going to see who claims the throne in this game and moves on to the top 8. There we go. Turret goes down, the dive in behind the inhibitor. It's going to be Elise falling down rather rapidly. Ocelot unstoppable, 5-0 and 10. The Botlane forced backwards very rapidly. 2 more kills come through as Istari and Haiva fall. It's going to be the bottom inhibitor for sure. Triple kill for Kassadin. A 7-1 and 4 Aurelia. The Nexus turret's now under fire at 32.5 minutes. Yuki on the fountain just for fun of this one. No way that this game gets turned around. Gamers2 going to be our second winner of the day. We'll see him in 2 weeks.
Ocelot coming up big there for his team. He became a split pushing menace. 7-0 and 10 ends the game with 100% kill participation.